Evening all. So welcome to the pre-record this evening. So tonight we are going to discuss learning outcome number 12. Reflect on your own personal and professional development to include goal or objective settings, action planning, implementation, ongoing review, and personal initiative. So at the beginning of this course, we did a SWOT analysis to identify strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in order to look at your personal and professional development. This is an important exercise. It can also be helpful for individuals for ongoing assessments. Whether you're looking for a new job or trying to climb the corporate ladder, a personal SWOT analysis can help you achieve your goals. It's a creative method of self-assessment to help you assess where your career is and where it could go. Strengths. And again, I've said this to you before, when you're talking about your strengths, don't be modest, okay? How do your education skills, talents, certifications and connections set you apart from your peers? So what would your boss or co-workers say are your strengths? What values or ethics do you have that your peers often lack? What achievements are you most proud of? So what's your most proudest achievement, whether it be personally or professionally? What values or ethics do you have that your peers often lack? What would your boss or co-workers say are your strengths? We've done all these before. So again, you need to, have a look at these when you're doing your reflection. So, things like, what are you most proud of? It doesn't matter whether it's professional or personal, but something that you're most proud of. Your values and ethics. Again, we all have our values. We all have our ethics. Your weaknesses. And again, we did this again at the start when you had to do your analysis. And some of you weren't quite so honest when you were listing your weaknesses. So where are your education, training, or skills lacking? What would your boss or co-workers say are your weaknesses? What are your negative work habits and personality traits? What would you avoid because you lack confidence? So again, have a think about it. Where are your education skills, your training lacking? Is there something that you wish you could do, whether again, professionally or personally? Is there something that you would like to be better at? Again, would your boss or co-workers say you have any weaknesses? Again, you have to be honest. What are your negative work habits and personality traits? And what do you avoid because you lack the confidence? You think, oh no, I wouldn't be very good at that. I'll get somebody else to do it. If you don't try these things, if you start avoiding things because you lack confidence, then you'll never gain confidence and you'll never learn a new skill. Opportunities. So within our industry, what trends are affecting us in our industry? In what areas is your industry growing? How could new technology help you advance? How could your connections help you? Again, what areas is our industry growing? I think our industry is growing massively, especially when it comes to new tech in our industry at the moment. Again, how could your connections help you? Only you guys can answer these questions. I can't answer these questions for you. And this is the thing about personal and professional development. The first 3 portfolios we did in this, there are really no wrong answers. And I know some of you were having difficulty doing some of them. And I think that's basically just because you weren't being honest with yourself. You came to certain sections where you didn't know what to write because you weren't honest with yourself. So you had no answers. Whereas if you've been honest with yourself in these things, it wouldn't have been a problem. So threats, what obstacles do you currently face in your career? Who is your competition? Will new technology or certification demands slow your progress? How is your job or industry changing in ways that could affect your advancement? So, do you have any obstacles in your way at the moment? Who do you work with that you might consider be your competition? Will new technology or certifications demands, will the demands on, you know, having qualifications or new technology skills, will they slow your progress? How is the job or industry changing in ways that could affect your advancement? Working on strengthening your areas of weakness is all well and good. But make sure that you're spending the majority of your time and energy on your strengths. Find people who are strong where you're weak and partner with them. Delegate as much of the work that drains you to others as possible. Then focus on your unique gifts. Remember that personal development is about becoming your best self, not somebody else. You're not supposed to be good at everything. That's why we need teams. Again, this is where we go back to it. Our strengths, our weaknesses. We need to start strengthening our areas of weakness. But we have to make sure that we're spending the majority of our time and energy on your strengths. Find people who are strong where you're weak and partner with them. That makes common sense, really, doesn't it? What else can we look at here? Delegate as much of the work that drains you to others as possible. Then you could focus on your own new gifts. Again, what we're talking about, that all this personal development is about you. Nobody else, only you. And again, remember, you're not expected to be good at everything. That's why we build teams around us. Goals, ambition, and success. Goals and ambition are positive, but you need to ask yourself why. Why do I pursue this particular goal or ambition? What does success mean to me? What will it bring me? If you don't define the success, then success won't make you happy. So there's a question for you all, and maybe we can discuss this on Thursday evening, or sorry, Wednesday evening. Why are you pursuing the particular goals or ambitions that you've set for yourself? What's the reason for it? What does, will it make you successful? If it does, what does that success mean to you? What will it bring you? Will it bring you more respect, more recognition, more power, more money, better standing? And again, if you can't define the success, then success won't make you happy. Sometimes we have to be careful for what we wish for. You know what they say, the grass is always greener on the other side. Remember, with all these, how would I say, these promotions or these advancements comes, greater responsibility, sometimes more pressure, more stress. If it's not something that's you really embraced, then it can be harmful to you. So, like I said, why, like we're saying here, why do you need to ask yourself why you're pursuing this particular goal, ambition. Is it because everyone else is doing it? Is it something you really want? And again, if you do get it, what will it actually mean to you? What, like I mentioned again, what will it bring you? Will it bring you everything you dreamed of? Will it bring you more headaches? According to new research, happiness isn't just a state of mind. It affects your heart rate, your body chemistry, and it could contribute to substantial physical health benefits over time. British researchers asked 228 volunteers ages 45 to 59 to rate their levels of happiness over a workday and a leisure day, and monitored their blood pressure and heart rate regularly. Volunteers also gave saliva samples and completed a mental stress test. Study results showed that people with higher happiness ratings not only had a lower heart rate, but also had lower levels in their saliva of cortisol, a hormone associated with stress, and less concentration in the blood of a plasma that's connected to heart disease. So the levels of happiness over a workday and a leisure day, they were monitored. People, not everyone is happy in work. Not everybody is lucky enough to be, that they bounce out of bed every morning looking forward to going to work. So they're not happy, and it does affect people. It will affect people. It'll affect their mental health, their physical health, if they're in a job that they just don't like. And if it's how would I say, if it's affecting you mentally and physically, then you need to get out of that job. You need to go somewhere else, somewhere that will make you happier, a job that you look forward to going into every day. It's part of, you think about it, we spend most of our waking days at work. Why would you want to spend most of your time at work and unhappy? That's just not right. Yeah, we get that you have to pay bills, you have to live, you have, you've commitments, you need money to live. Yes, we do. But what's the point in having money if you're 6 feet under from mental pressure, physical pressure of the job? The biology of happiness. Neurotransmitters affecting happiness. Dopamine makes you do things. Strong short-term reward, high activity. Serotonin is related to pride, feeling important, joint achievement. Oxytocin relates to trust, kindness. Stress hormone, cortisol, inhibits oxytocin and is bad for your body, physically as well as mentally. So the brain chemicals that we emit. So neurotransmitter affecting our happiness. Dopamine makes you do things, a short-term reward and highly addictive. Serotonin is related to pride, feeling important and joint achievement. Oxytocin relates to trust and kindness. The stress hormone, cortisol, inhibits the the oxytocin that makes us trust. It's bad for your body physically as well as mentally. And if you go back to this previous slide where it said that the study showed results that people with higher happiness rates not only had a lower heart rate, but also had lower levels in the saliva of cortisol, which is bad for you. The psychology of happiness. Happiness from without. Doing, achieving, eating will make me happy. Reward for external sources, the dopamine hit. It works very briefly, not long term. Can be compulsive. Watch out for the partner. So, doing, achieving, eating are these things that makes us happy. The dopamine hit, like I said, we've all got this. It's like the adrenaline rush. It works very briefly, not long term. It can be compulsive. Watch out for a partner. Peace of mind. So happiness from within is your reaction to a situation that determines your state of mind being, right? Self-awareness. Sorry, guys. I just need to just bear with me for 1 second. Apologies for that, guys. My phone was ringing. Sorry about that. Okay, so peace of mind, happiness from within. It's your reaction to a situation that determines your state of mind. Being self-aware, mindfulness, calm and fulfillment, the serotonin. Practice kindness, your oxytocin, the social reward. So, sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? But it again, it all goes back to what goes on up here in our head. If we're constantly feeling under pressure up here, if we put ourselves under pressure, then we're fighting a losing battle. You need to calm your own mind down before you can do anything at all. Because if you're chaotic up here, everything else you do is going to be chaotic as well. And that's basically what all of these slides are saying. Calm things down in your head. Focus on what you're doing now, not what's going to be happen or may not happen in half an hour's time or an hour's time, not what did happen an hour ago or 5 minutes ago. Focus on what you're doing now. And if you can focus on what you're doing now, then it will make things easier for you. And that's basically what we're saying here. you know, I'm giving you a lot of stuff here, right? And you're probably saying, what the hell is he talking about? It's all about the mind, okay? Focusing the mind, calming the mind down. Chaotic minds, chaotic everything else. Your mental health, working all the time is dangerous. If you live for work and your work goes badly, it's very hard to keep your peace of mind. You have a risk of burnout. And, you know, and I know exactly where, you know, this is me at the moment. I'm living for my work at the moment. Why? Because I'm self-employed. If I don't do it, no one else is going to do it, obviously. If I don't do it, I don't get paid. The other person I have working with me, they don't get paid. So I have a lot of responsibility. So for me, this is my life at the moment. I do live for it, but on the plus side of that, I do enjoy my work. It's not something that I dread doing. I don't wake up in the morning and go, oh God, I have to go in there again. It's not like that for me. I'm lucky that I'm doing something that I enjoy doing. So I don't really see it as work a lot of the time. And it's difficult to keep your peace of mind if this is something that you do and your work goes badly. What happens then? This is all I have. What else am I going to do? There's been I've known guys who were in the army all their lives. It was their life. They joined the army when they were 17 years of age. They never married. They never had kids. They lived in the army barracks. Everything was there for them. They had no bills. They knew when they were being fed. They got up in the morning, had their breakfast. They went at lunchtime, had their lunch. They went at 4:30, 5 o'clock and had their dinner. That was it. They had a routine. They knew exactly. They lived for the work. Their work was their lives. It involved all around everything that happened inside that army barracks. But then when it was time for these guys to retire, when they had no choice but had to retire, they had to leave the place where they had maybe have lived for the last 50 years. Never having to pay a bill as such. Had to go into the big bad world and fend for themselves. They didn't know what to do. I met one of those guys that I knew on the street, sleeping rough on the street. He just didn't know how to cope. So I'm not saying that's what's going to happen here, but that's what can happen when everything about you is all work related. If something goes badly wrong, it's very hard to get back on track. Up here, it's very hard. You may burn out. Again, if that's what you're doing, you work. The risk of burnout is quite high. So some tools for individuals to set objectives in an effective and productive manner. The SMART acronym is a tool designed to help organizations and individuals set objectives in an effective and productive manner. Specific and measurable objectives define the success of a project or an initiative. Achievable and realistic objectives engage and motivate individuals. Time-bound objectives ensure that all time scales in a realistic and for the achievable objectives. So again, I'm going to go through this SMART acronym tool for you again, right? So objectives are SMART if they are specific, achievable, sometimes agreed, realistic or relevant, and time-bound or timely. SMART, i.e. specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. Specific, outline in a clear statement precisely what is required. Measurable, include and measure to enable organizations to monitor progress and to know when the objective has been achieved. Achievable or agreed. Design objectives to be challenging, but ensure that failure is not built into objectives. Objectives should be agreed by managers and employees to ensure commitment to them. Realistic or relevant, focus on outcomes rather than the measures of achieving them. Time-bound, agree the date by which the outcome must be achieved. So you need to write down exactly what your goals or what you're aiming for. You also need to and be precise about it. You need to measure, include a measure to enable organizations to monitor progress and know when the objective has been achieved. So you need to monitor your own progress. Again, your objectives, they need to be challenging. There's no point in having objectives if they're not challenging. Yeah, I'm going to set my objective for my goal to be thing when you know that there's no challenge in it whatsoever. But again, you can't make them so challenging that they may fail. Okay, they should be agreed by managers and employees to show the commitment to them. Realistic or relevant, focus on outcomes rather than the means of achieving them. So what are we talking about here? Realistic or relevant? Whatever objectives you set, what is going to be the outcome of it? Not so much how you get there, but the outcome once you get there. What's it all going to mean? And again, agree the date by which the outcome must be achieved. Again, you need to give yourself a realistic goal here or a realistic time frame here. It's no point in saying, yes, we're going to get this done next week when it's humanly impossible to get it done. If you set yourself short time scales or short time frames, you're setting yourself up for failure. Give yourself a realistic goal. Give yourself, when you give yourself, when you're setting yourself a time frame or a date when something must be achieved, when setting that date, allow for setbacks, because there will be setbacks along the way. So you need to allow for those as well. Remember, not everything is going to go smoothly and perfectly. There will be setbacks along the way. So you have to allow for those as well. And don't let those setbacks deter you. These are barriers that are put in place. You know, how are you going to get past these barriers? Are you going to go through them? Are you going to go over them? Are you going to go around them? Are you going to go under them? It's all up to you how you test. But when you're setting your dates, make sure you allow for setbacks. Specific objectives should specify. They should describe the result that is desired in a way that is detailed, focused, and well-defined. The following questions may be helpful in formulating specific objectives. What outcomes are we looking for? Is it clear what the objective means? How will this be achieved and what strategies will be followed? What needs to happen? What are we going to do with or for whom? Who will be responsible for what? And do we need anyone else to be involved? When do we want this to be completed? When writing objectives, especially for individuals, use action-oriented verbs which describe what needs to be done to achieve the objectives. So, your objectives. what are the outcomes we're looking for? So what's the, like I mentioned a minute ago, when we reach this objective, what's the overall outcome going to be? What's it going to mean? Is it clear what the objective means? So not just to you, but everyone else around, is it clear? Does everyone understand what it means? Again, how will this be achieved and what strategies will be followed? All depending on what your objective is, where you are, and what you're doing. Again, what needs to happen? What are we going to do with or for whom? Who will be responsible for what? And do we need anyone else to be involved? What do we want? When do we want this completed down? This is all stuff you need to write it down. Write it down so it's there. It's all well and good having these things up in your head. They mean nothing in your head. Absolutely nothing in your head. You need to write them down. And when you get to a certain stage in your objective, yes, we've done that. Yes, we've done that. We had a setback there, but we got there eventually. We've done that now. You need to write things down. Write it down, plan it. Examples: analyze, apply, change, create, determine, identify, and perform. Avoid words and phrases which are ambiguous, such as be aware of, having an awareness of, be prepared for a variety of. Again, these are things we do not want to hear, right? Be prepared for, or have an awareness of, be aware of. So examples: analyze. We need to analyze what our objectives are, what the outcome is going to be. We need to I suppose, what's the word I'm looking for? How we want to apply it. What changes will be needed? What do we need? What do we need to create? Identify and perform. These are all things that we need to do. A good, smart objective should always set out what success will look like. Measurable goals give you something to measure your progress against. This will make it easier to determine whether or not it has been achieved. The measure can be either quantitative or qualitative. So it should set out what success will look like. Your measurable goals will give you something to measure your progress against. And it will make it easier to determine whether or not it has been achieved. So if you can measure things, you'll know whether you're on the right track or not. You need something that you can measure your progress against, because if you can't measure it, you're going on this way and then you realize, you know what, I should be going that way. So you need to measure things, okay? And achievable or agreed. Though it's important for you to challenge yourselves, objectives should be realistically achievable. Unrealistic and seemingly impossible goals only serve to create a culture of failure. This is far from the motivational environment you're looking to cultivate. So again, like I said, we need to challenge ourselves. Our objectives should be realistically achievable. Okay, so I want to be an astronaut. I want to fly to the moon. That's my goal. Is it unrealistic? Is it seemingly impossible? Quite possibly it is. And no, I won't say quite possibly. It is impossible, simply because of my age and my health. I just wouldn't be allowed on the space program. So that would be an unrealistic and impossible goal for me to achieve. That's just an example. So the challenge, the goals we set, or the objectives that we set ourselves, they need to be challenging, but they need to be realistically achievable. Review, take stock. How is my life going? how is my work going? So when have any of us ever sat down and said, you know, what's going on with my life? What's going on in my work right now? Have we actually ever sat down and thought about it? You know, do you sit down and think, you know, if I'd done this, I'd be here now. If I hadn't done that, I'd be there now. Again, how's your work going? These are things that sometimes we need to ask ourselves. I can't speak for, again, these are questions that only you can answer. And again, for these questions, the answer to these questions, there are no wrong or right answers to these questions. And no one else can tell you any different. I don't know how your lives are going personally. I don't know how your lives are going professionally. Only you guys can answer those questions. But it is a good idea to, like we said, take stock. That the path I'm on now, is this where I really want to be? You know, whether it be professionally or personally. So we're talking about initiative now. Initiative is a personality trait in which a person has the ability and tendency to initiate, to start an action, including coming up with a proposal and giving or helping without first being requested to do so. Some people have initiative, some people don't. Some people have initiative, but too lazy to use it. Some people will just wait. Sorry, excuse me. Some people will just wait to be asked to do something. Even though they know it should be done, they'll still wait. Or personal initiative. Do we do more than what, do you do more than what's expected of you? Make your career plan. Work on your confidence. Work on, develop a team mentality. Actively request feedback and follow it. Always keep a positive attitude and be prepared for any opportunity. Okay, all of us here, do we do more than what is expected of us, either personally or professionally? Have you made a career plan? When I say have you made a career plan, have you actually written it down and say, this is it. This is my path. This is where I want to be in 5 years. This is where I want to be when I retire. How is your confidence? Are you very confident or are you not so confident? Is it something you think you should work on? You know, again, personally or professionally, there can be some people that can be very, very confident professionally in their workplace because they know exactly what they're doing and what they're doing is right. They know how to do the job. But personally, they may lack confidence. They may be very shy. Your team. Do you have a team around you, or do you, are you a lone worker? If you do have a team around you, do you think you'd be able to develop that team mentally? Do you actively request feedback and follow it? Do you go to your supervisor, your colleagues, your manager, whoever it may be, and ask, look, I'm just wondering, how am I getting on here? Is there anything that I could improve upon? Is there anything I should be doing differently? And will you actually, again, if you're going to ask that question, you have to be prepared for the answer. It may not be the answer you're looking for. So be prepared for it. Not everyone is good at everything. And some days we do have off days. Every one of us has an off day. And if you're asking for this feedback on one of your particularly off days, then prepare for the answers you're going to get. Again, do not take it personally. This is something that you need to do. And if you want to get better at what you're doing, listen to the feedback and follow it. Always try to keep a positive attitude. There's enough negativity in the world at the moment. We don't need any more. Be prepared for any opportunity. If an opportunity comes your way and something that you want to do, then go for it. Don't let lack of confidence hold you back. If it's a new position, more senior position, whatever it is, different job, whatever it is, go for it. What have you got to lose? At the end of the day, what have you got to lose? Absolutely nothing. Everything to gain, but nothing to lose. So, opportunities come your way, go for them. Don't let them slip by. We've all done it from time to time. We've allowed opportunities to pass us by. Why? Because we felt we weren't ready for it. We lacked the confidence. We didn't feel that we were strong enough. We didn't think we had the qualifications for us. Sometimes you don't need qualifications. Sometimes all you need is life experience on the job. Sometimes that can be just enough to get you across the line. So, like I said, if opportunity comes your way, don't shy away from it. Go for it. So personal and professional development is a long-term initiative, but it also leads to short-term benefits like improved performance and engagement. So if you're setting out on your path towards your goal, you're obviously bettering yourself or improving upon yourself as you're going. And as you're improving, the short-term benefits that leads to short-term benefits like improving your performance and your engagement. Because if you're improving yourself professionally and personally as you're going for your goal, obviously everything else that you're doing is going to improve as well. Why? Because you're making yourself better. You're improving yourself. You're going to be better at what you do. Why? Because there in the distance, you can see it, that bright light, that shining goal at the end of the line. That's where you want to be. And as you're going towards us, you're improving yourself all the while. Talking and showing initiative is a crucial skill that can serve you well in both your personal and professional life. It is the ability to show an initiative at work. If you constantly wait to be told what to do, then you've waited too long. The habit of initiative is seeing something that needs to be done and either doing it or figuring out ways to do it. The more you work on initiative, the easier it becomes. The key is finding ways to be resourceful and taking action or doing something before others do it or before you are told to do it. Taking initiative shows the hallmarks of a leader in the league. So maybe this is something we can discuss Wednesday evening. Okay, so we see something that needs to be done, but we don't do it. Now, there can be a number of reasons of why we don't do it. Obviously, the first one is we're too lazy, we couldn't be bothered. It's not really my job, so I'm not going to do it. I'll let somebody else do it, or I'm going to wait for the boss tells me to do it. Why should I take on extra work when I'm not going to get into? And that's the mentality of some people. Then there's the other side is it something that you wouldn't be confident in doing? Maybe it's a little bit outside what you normally do. You wouldn't be confident in doing it. You have an idea of how it might be done, but again, you're not confident enough to think you might do it. That might stop some people to do it. Or the other one then is it's definitely not anything they should do. You're afraid, you know how to do it. You know you can do it. It's outside your remit, and you won't do it because you're fearful that your supervisor, your manager may give up to you. Why are you doing that? That's not your job. And because I saw it need to be done, so I did it. sometimes, there's a couple of reasons why people don't do things. It's not, sometimes it's not always because they're lazy or born idle and they couldn't be bothered doing it. There are other reasons. So, if you're someone that will always show the initiative work, don't look at other people who don't negatively because you don't know why. It could be any of the reasons. Obviously, if it's a lazy one, you're going to know it's a lazy one. But if it's something that they feel they don't confident or they're afraid to do just in case, then don't look negatively on that. What you need to do then is help that person. Help them with their confidence. You know how to do this. If it needs to be done, go do it. No one is going to give out to you. If it's done right and you can do it right, then do it. If you see it needs to be done, just go do it. And the more you work on this, the easier it becomes. This is all about this. And again, this is all goes back to our teamwork and things like that. Helping each other along. You have your strengths, they have their strengths. You have their weaknesses, they have their weaknesses. Help each other out. Use your strengths to bring up their weaknesses. They will use their strengths to bring up your weaknesses. That's what it's all about. That's what team playing and teamwork is all about. It's not all about the team leader. Look at me, I'm the team leader. I'm in charge of this team. No, as I'm to do it. Team leader is part of the team as well. No different than anyone else. He's part of the team as well. And again, taking initiative or showing initiative, it shows the hallmarks of a leader in the making. That's what we want, isn't it? We want to take, and I'm assuming that's why you're all here doing this course, this 2-year course. We want to take the next step in our career, whether it's becoming a team leader, supervisor, a manager, senior manager, whatever it is, whether it's going in a completely different direction altogether. This is why we're here. We want to improve upon ourselves. We want to make better versions of ourselves. And that's what it's all about. And there's no shame in that. Absolutely no shame in that. Everyone wants to be better. Everyone wants to strive for success. Everybody wants to be happy. And that's what it's all about. Examples of initiative include where you see others struggling, reach out and offer help. When you see areas in your life that's not going well, would you like to, and you would you like, when your life is not going as well as you would like to, and you decide to do something about it. Sorry, my apologies. I need to put an exclamation mark or comma, sorry. When you see bad decisions being made that could be disastrous, and have courage to speak up and point the flaws rather than waiting for the bad thing to happen and then make a statement such as, I thought that wouldn't work out well. If you thought that wouldn't work out well, why did you do it? It's, it's a very, very simple question. You think to yourself, this is not going to work, but you still do it anyway. Why? Again, when you see others struggling, do you reach out and offer help? When you see areas in your life not going so well, as well as you'd like to see them go, do you decide to do something about it? Other ways of developing your initiative include learning to ask the right questions, probing questions which can bring to surface negative or undercurrents that need to be addressed. Taking initiative helps to build and strengthen your decision-making skills and analytical skills, where you get to analyze pros and cons on different courses of action. So again, we're back to the previous slide. We go and do something. Do we stop and think, okay, if I go this way, this is going to happen. If I go that way, that's going to happen. Weighing up the pros and cons on the different courses of action that you could take. Taking initiative means going the extra mile or going above and beyond your normal job responsibilities to make things happen. Taking initiative means the ability to see something that needs to be done and deciding to do it out of your own free time and without someone else telling you to do it. Doing something that needs to be done out of your own personal drive with a desire to make things better than they were before, or improve process and ways of doing things. Doing more than your normal work duties and adding a little unexpected surprise for others at work. Okay, so again, you need to ask yourself this. At work, do you go that extra mile or go above and beyond your normal job responsibilities to make things happen? Do you see things that need to be done and decide to do it out of your own, on your own free will, without someone else telling you to do it? Do you go and do it and not wait for someone else to tell you to do it? Doing something that needs to be done of your own personal drive with a desire to make things better than they were before. Improve processes, the way of doing things. Just say you're doing something at work, right? And it's just been, something that's been done all the time. And we just do that way because it's always been done. Now, obviously, if it's not a vital process, and obviously if you're able to do this, maybe it's something as simple as where the post goes, or something where it's put somewhere, but actually it would be more beneficial if it was over there. Simple things like that. That's called using your initiative. Okay. Is it more effective or is it more efficient if I have it here alongside me rather than all the way over there? It's not going to affect anything we do in this area, so why not have it here? It's more efficient, it's time saving, and it's better all around. That's using your initiative. It's not changing the entire process of where you work. It's making one simple change. That's using your initiative. And the last one here then, right? Doing more than your normal work duties and adding a little unexpected surprise for others at work. So whatever it is you do, we'll just say for argument's sake that you're coming towards the end of your shift, and I'm going to use the patrol driver here, right? You're coming towards the end of your shift. You've all your work done. You don't really have any, there's no rush back to the office. You have time. The guy that's coming on, you can see that he might be under a little bit of pressure today. So you might be able in a position to do, maybe there's an open up that he normally does at 7 o'clock as soon as he starts, but it could be done at 6:30. So you know what? Why don't they do this for him on the way back? Take one job off. And doing one little thing like that, and I'm speaking from experience here, it does make a huge difference. When you come into work, whether it be you're starting at first thing in the morning or starting at 7 o'clock in the evening, and the guy you're taking over says, look, by the way, I got this done for you, I got that done for you. It makes a huge difference to that person that comes on, because well, that makes my night or my day that little bit easier. It takes some pressure off me. You'll be surprised, small little things like that can make a huge difference to somebody else. Developing your initiative begins by knowing what you want to achieve in your career, what things you have to and are willing to do, and how fast you want to achieve your career goals. Learn how things work and figure out efficient ways of working. Look for opportunities in problems. Persevere and be willing to start small. You don't have to dive into a big project immediately. Build on your initiative one step at a time. Goes back to setting your goals and setting a time frame. Be realistic. If your end goal is your ultimate goal is to be a senior manager or managing director, Give yourself small goals along the way to get there. It may take you 5 years. It may take you 10 years to get that position that you want. It's a long time to wait without achieving any goals. Set yourself little goals that you know you can achieve along the way. It keeps you going. It keeps you focused. It keeps you motivated. And it builds your confidence as well. Set yourself small little goals that you know you can achieve along the way. And again, if problems do come up, look for opportunities within those problems. So this problem came up, right? I figured out how we can fix this and we won't have this problem again. There you go. Feather in your cap, build your confidence, set you out from your colleagues. The guys at the top, look at this guy. Where did this guy come from? He's solving problems. You know, this. You know, we may need to keep an eye on this guy. This guy could be, you know, moving up the ladder to us fairly soon. And like I said, persevere. Keep going. It may take a while. It may take a lot of work, but persevere. Don't give up. This course, for instance, this 2 semesters here, right? So semester 1 is going to keep us going until next June. Then you have semester 2. And I will say to all of you, we have, there's been a few people dropped off this course already. I think there's about 10 gone already from the original. For those of you who are remaining, I will say this, keep going. There is a lot of work involved. There's a lot of projects, there's a lot of portfolios, there's a lot of exams. A lot of work has to be done. But I will say to you guys, keep going. Don't give up. Remember your goal. This could be one of your short-term goals. You know, let's get to, you know, for each module you will get a certificate, a minor certificate for each module. What you want is that major award at the end of this. That's why, you know, let's face it, that's why you sign on this course, to gain experience, to learn new things. And I will say to you guys, stay the course. If you feel you're starting to fall behind or you think you're not going to get things done, you have my phone number, you have my email address. Do not be afraid to use them. That's why I am here. I'm here to help you. I'm here to guide you in any way that I can. Apart from doing your projects and exams for you, I have to draw the line there somewhere. Okay, but again, persevere with this course. A lot of time, I have another course, they're actually onto their last module. Out of the 30 that started that, there's only 5 of the original 30 left. Now, there have been new people come on and left and come on, but of the original guys that started this way back where you are now, there's only 5 of them left. I would like to hope that whoever's here now, you will still be here at the very, very end when we're doing that very last module, hopefully. Observe colleagues who are masters at taking initiative. Talk to them, learn from them, work with them. Learn their thinking processes and most importantly, study how they execute ideas and accomplish goals. Practice speaking up and making your voice heard. You could start by contributing and participating actively in small group meetings, then gradually, slowly to larger groups. Again, not everyone is different. A lot of people, they're not confident in speaking with other people unless they're very, very comfortable with them. So don't dismiss somebody straight away. Listen to what they have. If somebody is like I said, maybe shy and not confident talking in front of people, if they're going to say something, let them be heard. Because it does take courage for that individual to start talking. So we all have our part to play. You might be the person who's great at taking initiative. They may not be able to. Help them along. Take them under your wing, guide them, show them. That's what it's all about. Again, this is going back to the whole teamwork thing. Let people get used to hearing your input. When you consistently offer good ideas, suggestions, or recommendations, your opinions will be sought over time. Learn to be decisive. Become comfortable at making decisions rather than agonizing endlessly over decision making. So again, come up with good ideas. Let them get used to hearing your good ideas. And over time, yes, they will want your advice. Learn to be decisive. Become comfortable at making decisions rather than agonizing endlessly over decision making. The more you do it, the better and easier you become at it. Okay, guys, that's it for this evening. I hope you enjoyed this. I know that at the start of it, it was a bit sketchy there, and it was a bit, I do apologize for that, and I apologize for the small interruption. I had to take an important phone call there. But I shall see you all on Wednesday evening, and I hope we'll have a good discussion on Wednesday evening. So I shall talk to you all then, and stay safe.